Hello, Zeb Aurelios from Star Wars Rebels, and you're listening to Inside the Force. Carabas. Gotta go, Hera's here.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
What's up, everyone? Inside the Force, Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back to a jam-packed episode once again as we dive into all things Star Wars. Great things to talk about on this episode, including finally some new news from the Han Solo film. We got some comic news as well. New book, Inferno Squad, is out there. Want to touch on that a little bit. A little bit from San Diego Comic-Con. Exclusives that I wanted to talk about. All the kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, some leaks.
And more.
Yes.
So,
yes,
thanks for joining. We will dive right in to what's in the news right now. Case?
Right now, I'll go start the Han Solo stuff. Ron Howard, I love his Twitter account. He's so good at tweeting.
Yeah.
They're still shooting Han Solo, it seems like, because he just put out a photo. I'm trying to see what day this was. Friday, what's today? Today's recording.
So it's 29th.
So, yeah, so 28th is when he put this out. And it's just a photo of him talking with the cinematographer Bradford Young about a shot for the Han Solo movie. They're on set. You guys can go to his Twitter account at Ron Howard. Look at it. I mean, it looks like they're in some kind of dungeon-like area, some underground smuggler type of, where you would expect smugglers and scoundrels to be. And it's pretty cool. There's nothing revealing. Everybody's really focused on this one creature that is a new creature that's in the background, and they keep speculating. I haven't really read much of the speculation because I don't think it's anything revealing or telling of really anything of importance, but it's a cool-looking creature. It's a big, brute-looking alien with looks like a glass dome over his head, somewhat of a helmet. I don't know. Anyways, it's a cool-looking shot and a cool-looking set. Really, so far what we've seen from Ron Howard, I'm very excited about what this film will look like. Now, I know all this stuff that he's working with already was pre-made before he got there. So like all the sets and the storyline and all the plot and all that stuff is already set in stone. Ron Howard's just finishing it, but still, I'm very excited about what this film could potentially be. I'm still worried about it. Don't get me wrong. However, I am excited about it because it's Star Wars.
Yes.
So Ron Howard, please keep tweeting. I love it. I love seeing the photos. I love seeing the videos. Really fun stuff. And in terms of Last Jedi, there were some it's been called behind the scenes leaks, which I guess technically it is. These are like promotional.
Just pictures.
Yeah, they're like promo pictures that they don't have the graphics or special effects on it, because if you go on, right, I'm looking at the Star Wars.
Aren't they kind of from the poster too? At least the Luke
some
one,
of them I've recognized from posters and other promotional artwork, like the Battlefront 2 game stuff. There's a picture of Kylo here that I recognize from the marketing of that game. But it originated from, I don't even know how to say this site. I've never actually figured out. Imager? Is that how you say Imgur? That site? Imager?
I think it's Imager.
Imager? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Anyways, this gallery started there, but that account has been taken down. And I'm looking at it right now from Star Wars Newsnet. They have a link to another gallery with the same photos, so you can go there and take a look at it. But it's a good handful of photos from the main cast. You have stuff from Rey, Finn, you have Kylo, you have a picture of Luke, a couple pictures of Luke. And you actually have Snoke as well, and some Praetorian guards.
Yeah, Snoke with the gold thing, right?
It's a very photorealistic image of Snoke with gold robe. I can't stop looking at it. It's just amazing looking. It's just so different. He's got incredibly blue eyes, and
he
his
does
face
look
is so.
He very much does look like he's like almost Frankenstein together.
Yeah, and it keeps Pablo Hidalgo kind of confirmed that he's not human, or the novel Force Awakens kind of confirmed that he wasn't human. He's humanoid.
He's humanoid.
But he's very humanoid in terms of he looks a lot like a human, just a mangled, scarred, really distorted human. Like he's definitely seen some action. I'm so curious. I'm so interested of who Snoke is. Seeing this picture has really, I don't know why, because we've seen what he looks like in the hologram form.
Yeah.
But seeing him in full color and incredible photorealism, I'm much more intrigued about who he is and his backstory. I mean, you can really look in great, incredible detail at his scars. He's got holes in his neck, a hole in his face, his nose is mangled, his ears. I mean, his eyes, it's like all slanted. It's like literally he burn victim. Like he's had an axe to the head. He's been shot. It looks, I don't know, like holes in his mouth. Like this guy.
There's no way.
He's nuts. What?
I just thought of this looking at his picture, so don't hold me to this at all. But there's no way that's Anakin, is it?
I don't think so. The eyes are wrong, right? I tell you what, my crazy theory I just had.
Because that looks like somebody that was burned alive.
Sure.
And brought back to life somehow. Or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, it doesn't look at all like the same Anakin that was burned. No, these are different scars than what he had.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's been 30 years, so
just deteriorating,
or just
he's
seen some action.
He was burned twice.
We don't know what happened those 30 years.
Vader's body was burned.
I don't know.
So he has been burned twice, technically. But someone's tried to kill him. Someone left him for dead. That's why I was so convinced that it was Plagueis, because this guy looks like he was left. He should be dead.
But Plagueis is definitely immune.
That's
right?
canon that he's immune? I don't think that's canon that he's immune. Unless it was said in the novel of Revenge of the Sith. I don't think that's canon. No, unless Pablo just says he is.
Yeah, that I can't confirm.
But no, my thing was I was just thinking the other day looking at this, like, what if it's a clone of Obi-Wan? Has that ever? I don't read the Snoke theories out there because I don't really care to. But I don't know if that's been a theory. I assume it has.
Clone of Obi-Wan. Yeah, I don't know.
Because that was a storyline in the EU before it was retconned. The heir to the Empire, the one of the villains of Heir to the Empire is Jorah Saboth, if that's how I say his name. And originally he was supposed to be a clone of Obi-Wan, but it was retconned to be just a clone of a old Jedi from the Clone Wars. No, I was looking at this, the blue eyes, and just I thought it'd be an interesting, different spin on it. But he's most likely he's the original character. I would love to be pleasantly surprised and being connected. I like it if it'd be cool if he's connected to someone else, like if he is Plagueis or something like that. Unlike a lot of other people, I like connectivity. I like different twists like that. But most likely he's the original character. But I'm incredibly intrigued by his backstory because he looks like he's seen some horrible things and has died several times just by looking at his face. Mm-hmm. Anywho, the shots of Kylo. I mean, we pretty much have gotten a good look at Kylo from the behind-the-scenes stuff and all this and that. So you see his new look and Rey's new look, and Finn looks very Han Solo-ish in his photo. We didn't get a picture of Poe. It looks like, but
so Darth Plagueis is not.
It's not specified.
It's not known yet.
Yeah.
He's just a male.
I mean, I'm
Dark
sure,
Lord.
Sure the story group knows what it is, but
story was Darth Plagueis. The book, the novel, 2012 novel written by James Luceno, is now Legends.
Yeah,
but the novel Tarkin, which I read, you see, also by Luceno, includes references to Plagueis, but canonizes certain elements that have been introduced in the Darth Plagueis novel. But his actual appearance and his race is not known yet. So
interesting.
Could be Plagueis.
Could be. Who knows?
Could be. I mean, but
who knows?
I keep thinking they keep denying it. Like, no, it's not. It's a different character. Like it seems like that's where
the chips are being put. So we shall wait for how many months now? Gosh, 4 or 5.
Well, it's less than 140 days. 140 days was, I
Awesome.
think, yesterday.
Awesome.
Till episode.
Cannot wait.
Episode 8. So let's see. Comics. Wanted to kind of go over that. There's a new creative team that is jumping on to the Star Wars issues, starting I think on number 36. Is that what I? Sorry, 38. So new creative team of Kieran Gillian and Salvador LaRocca, the writer-artist team that did the Volume 1 of the Vader series.
Yes.
Which they are not on it now. They ended their run on. In fact, I'm not actually sure if they went all the way to 25, but they were on. They started the Volume 1 series. Charles Soule doing the Volume 2 series as of right now, but they are jumping on the Star Wars beginning issue 38. They're on issue 33. That I think just came out, so about 5 more issues. So I think it's January. Actually, I think I read it is January that they're taking over the series. So
it's exciting.
It's very exciting. The art is very, very, very good. Love the Vader book.
Yes.
So it's really, I never really, because I got into comics really, really late, and like 2011 when the New 52 kicked in for DC is when I actually got into comics. Like every week, kind of reading and doing stuff, and of course, I didn't read. I started reading some of the Star Wars comics then, which was Dark Horse, when the Dawn of the Jedi started that series, and I was reading that and some of the other stuff that came out when Star Wars, that book series, the comic series. We were reading that. We were actually talking about it on the show, even though it wasn't canon at the time. So I was obviously thrilled when Marvel took over and everything's canon now. So I'm into it like crazy. But I never realized how often artists and writers changed within a series. For some reason, I just felt like if I was writing Superman, I'm writing Superman. Until I don't know, at least a couple years. Sure. But now it truly is like DC. I remember there'd be a round of artists and writers that would only do like 6 issues and then they're out, or else the writer would leave, a different writer would come on. Maybe the artist stayed for a while, so it's crazy how often in a book, but it keeps it fresh and good as long. But I never really see being also not as much into it. I never realized how important it was. I don't know. I hate to say it, but you kind of think writing a comic book wouldn't be that hard to do to make it good, but there's a talent to it. Yeah, and
absolutely.
There's some bad comics. Even unfortunately, stuff that I read DC was tough to get through sometimes, and honestly, but something could be well written, and you lose interest in it because of the way it looks. I mean, it's such a art form, a comic book, and it's become more popular, I think, over the years as geekdom has risen, and there's some serious work that goes into comic books, and it doesn't go unnoticed when you're really into it, who the writer is and who the artist is.
That's why I have such a on-off again relationship with comics. Started in middle school, but definitely, like especially with Superman comics back in the day, I would get so turned off because it was always kind of like Smallville. It was like the freak of the week kind of thing. Just all these random monsters kept coming and going, and the stories kept getting redundant. And Green Lantern was the same way until if Jeff Johns was writing it, then Green Lantern was very redundant. But when Jeff Johns wrote it, it was very good back then. So that's kind of again like off again on again. Then I kind of stuck with whenever the crises happens. Every 5 years or so, I would stick with that. But I mean, the Star Wars comics have, with the exception of a couple of lines, but definitely for the most part, I've been glued to them, and they've been so great. It's just the habit of reading it because you get busy. But no, I mean definitely what DC has done with Disney and Lucasfilm, and what Marvel's done with the comics now. It's been incredible. It's fantastic.
Yeah, unfortunately or fortunately, I guess it really depends, because right now the comic series is all of them are kind of still hanging around that Civil War era, right?
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars is taking place between the Star Wars book. If you guys don't know, it's basically filling the gap between 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
After Luke has destroyed the Death Star, leading up. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to try to fill as much gap in between 4 and 5 as it will, because that's going to be ongoing. The Vader book's the same way. The first one, now this one is after Episode 3, so it's starting to see Vader as first after he becomes Vader in the black suit. You've got Poe Dameron out there still, so that's kind of Force Awakens era.
Mm-hmm.
You got Aphra, which is still continuing that Vader era between 4 and 5. And then you had a quick 5 series with Maul pre-Episode 1. So you're still hovering around the films, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that, though, obviously, you can't really do anything major, right? Completely major, because you know where things are going to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the Maul series, he wasn't going to get discovered because no one knows about him in Episode 1, right? So it is interesting to see Vader doing what he's doing. And then, of course, the gap between 4 and 5, you know where everybody's going to get to. So it's just little stories in there that are really cool. But that's what I'm getting at. You talk about, because it just brought to my mind when you're talking about DC, is that there's so many major events like Crisis and Final Crisis and Blackest Night and Flashpoint. And I mean, it's just these major changes to these characters that go away for years. Barry
killed off.
Wally West.
Barry Allen was killed off.
Wally West was a while Barry Allen was gone for years. He was gone for what, 20 years, close to be
something like that. 90s, something like that. I think.
It was late 80s with Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Was that late 80s? Or
yes, and then he didn't come back until 2005
the rebirth
or something like that. Yeah, it was close to 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you get stuff like Vader Down and maybe Screaming Citadel, but is there an event like that can be possibly be done?
That's
Probably
the
not.
same with the books. I mean, I don't know if we'll have a Yuuzhan Vong War in the books or comics. I think that they'll save that for the TV shows or for the movies.
And that's what I'm saying. Is I think in order to get extreme like that, where you have a galaxy wide event. Mm-hmm. It's got to be in a different era.
Yeah.
We're still in that movie era. Like, you got to do something Old Republic or beyond Force Awakens, but then I don't know if you can do that. It's got to be kind of more ancient stuff, I think, that you can really start doing some global, universal stuff.
You got to maybe not even do the Sith War, not even do the stuff that is alluded to in the films and books, I think people just need to buckle down, because I myself am ready for new era stories, but everybody just needs to kind of get settled, because we will probably keep getting these stories contained in this era until at least the last of the 3
trilogy,
or the last of also the 3 spin-off solo films.
Yeah.
After that comes out,
they're definitely, it's completely obvious that they've chosen when Disney took over that, look, we're going to give everybody what everybody fell in love with. Mm-hmm. And that's what they've done, right? Mm-hmm. They've stuck around the Civil War era of the Rebels versus the Empire. And, it's not that they're trying, I guess, I don't know, they're not trying to make us forget about the Clone Wars or, what happened in the prequels, but it is about the Civil War still, and I don't see us, because you're getting that same feeling and effect in this trilogy, right? Mm-hmm. the First Order versus the
Yeah.
Republic, or the
Absolutely.
Resistance now.
Yeah.
The Republic's dead, apparently. So anyway, that kind of does lead into a little bit what I wanted to talk about, which was Inferno Squad, which just came out this week. So awesome. had it ready for me that Tuesday morning. Got in the car, started listening to it. I've been listening to it like crazy. I'm 11 chapters through. It's 29 chapters on the audiobook. I'm not sure that translates ever exactly the same to.
Yeah.
But that's when I kind of wanted to. I didn't want to get into really what the book's about because Casey hasn't read it yet. But I wanted to kind of talk about that and compare it to the first Battlefront book, which was Twilight Company, because you read that.
Yes.
You listened to it or read it?
Listen to it.
You listened to it. So, because the theme of Inferno Squad, I'm truly not giving anything away, but the theme of, because you should know, I mean, just based on Battlefront 2, the game trailers and everything, you kind of know. So Inferno Squad is this group of 4 that were brought together right after the Death Star, the first Death Star exploded. And they were brought into to infiltrate or figure out how to start. Now, how I compare it to, and I think this is pretty accurate. If you think about the movie The Patriot, with Mel Gibson, as Americans or whatever, the colonists, we weren't getting any ground against the British. Like they were just coming over and mowing us over. But in the movie, this militia was formed to go outside conventional warfare and pick them off and do, that's what Inferno Squad is. It's this group of, highly accomplished individuals that are, it's like you got your commander, you got your data person, you got your weapons person, and you got your strategic person. So you got the best of their best of these different, put them together, and then basically it's like whatever means necessary. They have missions, but it's like accomplish the mission any way you can, right?
Yeah.
So it's really cool, and it's really neat to think like that was out there at the time. Whether or not in the book, they'll cross paths with anybody from the movies or anything. Nothing like that has happened yet. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But the again, this is not a spoiler, but you can just read the jacket and figure this out. But like the premise of this film or this book is really Inferno Squad going after the rest of Saul's insurgents, right? So because if you remember Rogue One, he died, but his partisans and his belief, there are people out there that still are fighting in the honor of Saul Guerrero, right? So that's the other thing too. Is like, I mean, he's a much bigger player than I think we know.
Yeah.
Because there was that time. I mean, he's basically been fighting since the Clone Wars. He's been fighting the Empire, even though this, we now know that there are different rebel cells all over, right? But he built up this army of people that believed in doing whatever necessary, right?
Yeah.
Same kind of thing. So anyway, I wanted to kind of just hit on a couple things. Whereas one, reading this book, it's really, the perception of the Inferno Squad.
Yeah.
And what you're finding out is kind of most of these soldiers for the Empire. I mean, they believe that the Empire is what's best for the universe, the galaxy, and that these rebels are terrorists.
Yeah.
Now, so I mean, think about that. Like from their point of view, similarly. I mean, just think about. Just in our lives, our government, right? If we think our government is strong, it's the strongest in the world. If there was a group in Kentucky that started, I don't know, just started bombing or, trying to separate themselves, it's like we would think that was wrong, right? Yeah. Clearly. But not knowing fully what the government was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if that's a good analogy or not, but
like if some unknown middle nowhere patch of land, they're like there's like internment camps. They're oppressing some other part of the country.
But those people know the true evil of the government.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if our government was doing some unspeakable evil act that no one else knew about,
because our perception of them would be, oh my God, these guys are terrorists,
exactly,
and so we need to go in there and take care of them, right?
Yeah.
So that's what this perception, and what's crazy is that I think Disney and Lucasfilm, they've been building this like this with Tarkin.
Oh, they've definitely
Thrawn.
This has been a growing seed. We talked about on the show. Like Ray Sloan to me was the peak until Inferno Squad. Like Ray Sloan was the peak character that was wholeheartedly believing in the Empire because
in Aftermath, right?
In Aftermath, she doesn't condone the Death Star or necessarily what Palpatine was even doing. Like she said, yeah, Palpatine went a little far with how he was doing it, but nonetheless, the idea of the Empire has to happen because that's the only reason for peace.
That's
the
exactly
only way there can be peace in all the chaos. Like the New Republic will not last because they just can't control everything.
So what was their perception from like the Twilight Company? How did they talk about
that? One's different.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously they knew the Empire was.
Yeah, there definitely was such a patriotic duty to the rebellion and to the Republic, and you felt that in a lot of the characters that they just believed wholeheartedly and 100% passion into the Republic. But the main character, Namir, he was different because he was just a soldier. He was just there to fight the war and to do, and he kind of had his own sense of what's right, but he had a sense of duty mostly to just his squad and his company.
Yeah.
He didn't get too involved and didn't want to get mixed up in the politics of it all. And like he didn't really, it's like there were moments where he honestly didn't feel like he believed in the grand scheme of what the Republic stands for. It's mostly just he has a mission. He's just a good soldier. He just wants to, like Inferno Squad, he just wants to do the mission by any means, and he's good at what he does. But that was a very intimate. And that's what I think. Going back to the point is, about Twilight Company. It's a very intimate storyline. All these characters you don't know about, so their fate is in the air, and you can get invested in these characters, and they can have big things happen to them that would be shocking and emotional. Unless reading like these comic books with the original 3 characters from Star Wars, like you can't, like you're already invested in them because you love them, but they're not going to be in serious danger.
Correct.
Like Luke's not going to lose his other hand or something like that. You think he's safe, and like Vader, like he falls into a pit, falls off a cliff in this new Vader comic. Like, oh, he's not dead.
Yeah, of course not.
He's not dead. So and so that's why these intimate stories, like with Inferno Squad, these other characters we know. Iden survives because she's in the game, but
that's right.
The other people for Squad you'll get invested with. Like Twilight Company, I got invested in some of these characters, and some of them very much were very passionate about the rebellion, and it was a good perspective of that. But we pretty much, it's easy for us to get behind the rebels in the Republic. It has been such a crazy eye opener to get behind the Empire, and that's what has been fascinating to me. Is I can definitely see. I can buy what the Empire's doing. Like I understand.
Yeah, because the evil lies in the ruler,
the tactics. Yeah,
and Palpatine.
Exactly.
Really,
Palpatine.
I mean, if you had an actual, I don't know, military or like to be honest, like I think I almost would be okay with Thrawn running the Empire.
He has a respect in a sense.
I mean,
of how it should be done.
Man, yeah, and he saw what they were doing. Now again, he only went with it because it was the only thing there. And that's really his logic. Was the Empire is established and they're doing what they're doing, and his whole thing was fighting the insurgents, the rebels. Mm-hmm. Like if there was no rebels to be fought, Thrawn's importance would be so much less because he's a strategic person, right? I mean, he'd be really worried about these little battles going on, these local battles and nothing really major. So, but what's weird is that do we know for a fact, like in Twilight Company, do we know whether or not all the information of why the Empire exists has been trickled down to the rebellion? You know what I mean? Like,
How it came to be?
Yeah, because it came to be because of the Sith, because of an evil emperor, because of Palpatine, right? Like, how many people, and I think we've talked about this before, but how many people even know that the Clone Wars was all set up?
I mean, the Republic side, to my knowledge, they don't know.
Right. So
but there was talked about in Aftermath a little bit, where the council that Raxius, whatever you say.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember his weird name, but
Gallius Rax.
You know, his council, they talked about how they knew Palpatine was a Sith.
Yes.
Or the Emperor was a Sith.
Yeah, I know the Empire does.
And then, so the Empire, I feel like, has a good grasp of it. But yeah, the Republic side, I don't think they
But see, the Empire believe that the Jedi were evil.
Exactly. They're not privy to the whole truth, but they understand that.
That's what I mean. So
they're basically being ruled by the dark side.
The true nature of the battles.
Yeah.
No one really knows exactly. I don't think everybody really knows truly what happened, because it's not on record, obviously, right? I mean, it's like the Emperor Palpatine got into power because he convinced everybody that the Jedi tried to murder him, and that he, to his luck, the clone troopers turned and shut down the Jedi before they took over the galaxy. It's like, and obviously Padme knows that's not true.
Yeah.
Bail doesn't, and I'm sure Mothma knows it's not true, but how much of that did they actually share to the rest of the, because as we find out in Rebels right now, like our Rebels team doesn't know.
Yeah.
Kanan does.
It's
Kanan does.
It hasn't, I don't think it's been addressed a whole lot about people's views of the Jedi necessarily. Like the Rebels, I mean, I'm sure they accept Kanan, they accept Ezra, and they accept the Jedi and Luke, obviously. But no one, we don't think we come across a character yet that's been like, wait, the Jedi are traitors. Like, why are you? Like,
so maybe they were. Maybe they are told that.
Maybe Bail trickled it down through that way, but maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it's already been discussed. I don't know.
Or again, maybe it's like. Maybe it's like what Rey and them sensed in Force Awakens is that they don't even really know about these people. Don't even know about the Jedi because they weren't even born, or the Jedi were such a myth, and weren't around all that. Because there is that perspective that you got to remember that even at the height of the Jedi, not many people saw them.
Yeah,
they just heard about them.
Exactly.
But they weren't like on every planet policing, right? Yeah. So, anyway, it's just interesting because, again, I think it's just we're really getting a different perspective of the Empire. And I'm not sure if that's the intent. I think it is,
absolutely. Yeah. And that's kind of what's been marketed to with the game and with this is like, now we're finally seeing a real perspective through the Empire's eyes. And if you read the books, you've been getting that through the books and through some of the comics, but no, the game and the book apparently is really supposed to hammer in the idea of the Empire may not be all that bad. I mean, it's really just
because like you think about it, I think it's even in the crawl, like it's like the evil galactic empire.
Yeah,
it's like, but the galactic empire isn't really evil.
The only evil it's like when you start enslaving races and stripping worlds of all their resources, that's where it starts to get a little bad.
It's bad,
and you're going to start getting people to rebel against you because you are literally oppressing them. It's when the oppression happens. But that's kind of that spawned from their idea of like that's the only way to keep you in control.
But they're doing it because they think it's better for the greater good, right?
It's like, but there wasn't a lot of crime. There weren't pirates necessarily that were running rampant. If pirates and smugglers were doing stuff, a lot of times they were doing it for the Empire, or Empire's getting a kickback. The Hutts had their area, and
they were crime syndicates.
Yeah, and so it was separate, but they didn't interfere. They didn't,
and all that is outside in the outer rims.
Yeah.
Now the inner core.
Oh yeah,
it's just a military might.
Yeah.
And people were, as far as what you hear from like all these trips, like Tarkin and Thrawn did on Coruscant, like Coruscant was just business as usual.
Yeah.
Except they just had more stormtroopers around. You know, it's like...
And it's planet Vardos that Iden's from.
Yes, Vardos. Yeah. There's the
Imperial planet.
I'm actually... They're on Vardos right now, so I'm getting more about it. I'm getting more about it now, but...
It's funny because when we read Bloodline, that's during the New Republic, you know, but there's chaos in the galaxy. There's crime syndicates are running rampant, you know, terrorizing the galaxy. There's this and then there's that. There's not a lot of peace.
No.
And it just made me think like, dang, it's the New Republic won. In Aftermath, you know, they were winning. They were kicking the Empire's butt, but what came of it? You know, you have the galaxy, but now you can't even control it. That's exactly what the Empire was saying. That's what Ray Sloan was saying throughout all of Aftermath. Is like, yeah, listen, like, I hate it because the Republic is winning, but they're not going to be able to run the galaxy.
That's right.
Yeah, but the Empire can't run it the way that they. It's a weird. It's just a strange moral battle.
But prior to Palpatine, as far as we know, there was
peace.
1,000 years of peace.
Exactly. So Palpatine, dang you!
I know. He truly corrupted and changed an entire galaxy. I mean, it's unbelievable, to be honest.
Yeah, there was nothing happening in the Senate. There was a lot of stalemate. Nothing was getting decided, and that's just why Palpatine's like, well, no way something's going to work.
Yeah,
so I make the decision.
I knew I couldn't. He knew he couldn't do it, you know, just by fighting the Jedi.
Yeah.
So he had to go in a different route, which is politically, and just infect the entire
all
system.
Because of that Trade Federation embargo.
Yeah.
People think that they can just toss that storyline away in Phantom Menace, but man, that literally started everything.
It did. And I think eventually we will get a Sheev book.
Yes.
Because I feel like we got to know how long he's been infecting.
Yeah, I would love to.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it didn't start. It started with Phantom Menace. Them revealing themselves, but he had to have been working
absolutely
for 20, 30 years. You know, so that'd be a great book.
And you would think that there would be they'd be pulling something from the Plagueis book because Plagueis, Hugo Damask, was part of the banking clan.
We don't know that's his name though either.
Exactly. Part of the banking clan that funded the Trade Federation and funded all that, which helped cause that war. So, you know, that made sense.
But we don't know that for sure either.
Exactly. So I want to know if they're going to pull some of that, because that would make sense. Because if Sidious was helping the Trade Federation, like, how were they funded with all the battle droids and all that stuff, and how did they build up their little army, which spawned to the Separatists, which caused a civil war to bring the Empire? You know, it just all spawned from that small relationship between Sidious and the Trade Federation.
Yes.
So I want to know the origin of that relationship. Yeah, everybody thinks there's no story, nothing. There's no point to Phantom Menace. You can literally ignore it, but no, man, it literally starts everything. Even though it's number one in the saga, and it really spawns the entire conflict.
So anyway, that's I just feel like you have to kind of know and understand that feeling that you're going to get from this book, is that the viewpoint of the Empire, it's probably going to change. And I'm only not even halfway through this thing, and it's like, it's amazing that these people are thinking like that. So
it makes you just question, because it's like, what is the answer? Because in the state of the galaxy that it's in, I wish the Republic could just work, but it hasn't been since from Jedi to Force Awakens.
Luke can't even establish a Jedi academy. What the heck? I mean, okay. Anyway, so that's enough of that. Just a couple other things I wanted to kind of touch on. One, if you guys, I kind of keep forgetting to talk about this, about what to, but the Smuggler's Bounty box, the subscription I get every other month that came in. This was the droid themed. I suggest you guys get on smugglersbounty.com and subscribe. $25, not bad at all. Obviously, you get your pin and your patch. This one came with a T-shirt, and boxes like these are great because it's literally just a T-shirt and 2 Funko Pops.
That's such a good deal, really.
I know, right?
It really is.
T-shirt's really cool. It's the map of
That's
of,
cool. I get the galaxy map there.
No, from Luke's map
Oh, that's what that is.
because it's projected
Oh,
by
okay, I see that there. That's cool.
R2 and BB-8
Yeah,
projecting the map,
nice.
which is really neat. And the two pops are a Episode 1 C-3PO, so the unfinished
Oh, cool.
3PO, and then R4D4 or R5D4
Red.
red.
Nice.
So it's awesome.
Come on, Red. Let's go.
Come on, Red. He's got a bad motivator.
Yeah.
Look. Yeah, so that's really neat. So you can in the next theme. I was just looking up the next month's not August but September theme is Jedi. So I don't know what's in it, but I noticed their graphic on here.
Let's see.
There's a mistake.
With lightsabers.
Yes.
Let's see. We got Luke's, Yoda's blue. Is that
Yeah.
Yoda's
Yes.
blue?
And
And then
that's
Vader's handle.
no, that's Luke's. That's Anakin's.
Well, that's Obi-Wan's handle too.
Yeah, but this is Obi-Wan's. That's Luke's. That's right. But this is Anakin's
Yeah,
and Rey's,
yeah.
which is wrong.
That's Qui-Gon's.
That's
Don't know
Qui-Gon's.
who that is. Is that
That-
Ahsoka or something?
That
That's
looks
not
like
Ahsoka.
I think that's oh man. I know that one.
Yeah, I know I've seen it. I just
Oh God, this escapes me though. That might be maybe one of Obi-Wan's early ones. Maybe I don't know. But that's wrong. That's supposed to be blue. That's supposed to be green.
Yep.
They got Yoda's and Anakin's colors wrong.
Oh, come on. Some intern screwed up.
I know, right? Anyway, so smokersbounty.com. Go to there. Next theme is Jedi. That's really cool. And then I wanted to mention our guy we work with, Jeb, who's been on the show. He was actually recorded the Rogue One commentary for us that you'll get in September. But he's a big collector of Star Wars figures.
Yes.
And he has gotten to the point where he's like, I can't afford all the Black Series figures, so I'm done. But I'm going to get all the San Diego Comic-Con ones.
Yeah.
So the past 2 years, he's gotten all the. He forks the money up and buys them. So this year, he bought all 4, and I wanted to just hit on one. I wanted to hit. It's pretty neat because I didn't know this, but 3 of them are really, really well. There's 4 of them. 3 are really, really cool. One is Thrawn. One is a fold-up box that has Luke and Rey from Episode 8, basically 7, 8.
Yeah.
At the end, and then another one is Luke and his land speeder.
Yeah,
is really, really cool. But what's crazy is that the 4th one was a little weird. It's Commander Gree.
Interesting.
From the Clone Wars.
Yeah, that's right. I saw me had that one. Yeah.
And what's funny is that so in the Thrawn case, Thrawn's comes in this really big box.
Awesome.
That you fold open, and it's got all his stuff in his office from Rebels. And those two creatures.
Yeah, easy just to call them salamanders. They have a crazy weird name like Yilsamari or something like that, but they're salamanders. Just call them that.
But in his office stuff, he's got a lightsaber.
I think he has. Is that like Hera's little
trinket heirloom thing? Yeah,
from Ryloth.
A couple
Jedi guard mask.
Jedi guard mask, yes.
Lightsaber hilt I saw.
Lightsaber. But then he's also got Commander Gree's mask.
Oh, that's right.
He's got a green clone trooper, which is Commander Gree's.
Yeah.
And you know who Commander Gree was in Episode 3, right?
I mean, the dude got his head chopped off.
The one that's got Yoda's chopped his head off.
He just picked it up.
So somehow that mask ended up with Thrawn, and it's sitting in Thrawn's office. So I thought that was pretty neat. I don't know why they did it that way, but one of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive figures is Commander Gree, the one that got his head chopped off. Yeah. Yoda. So he was with Yoda on Kashyyyk, and he was in the Clone Wars as well. He was in 3 episodes, He was in Bombay Jedi. He was in Cloak of Darkness. And that was the first time he was actually identified as Commander Gree. He was in The Lair of Grievous, and he was in Weapons Factory. But his first appearance was Revenge of the Sith. So Commander Gree, yeah, he's a known trooper. He served under Luminari Unduli.
Cool.
So anyway, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I might want to get that figure. It's pretty neat. Okay. So besides that, just wanted to hit on to look for our episode 3 commentary here coming very, very soon. Finishing up the trailer for it. So look for that early August. And then, of course, as we continue our journey to episode 8, The Last Jedi, commentaries for Rogue One and episode 4, New Hope, will be in September. Episode 5 in October, episode 6 in November, and episode 7 1st of December before the movie comes out. So look for those. Keep going to our website. I'm actually about to reply to somebody that tweeted somebody tweeted to us asking when the episode 3 commentary is coming out. So I'm gonna reply to you, say next month, but I'm also gonna go ahead and list the whole calendar. This and this in September. What I just said, basically. Awesome. I hope I can fit in 140 characters.
Abbreviations, acronyms.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, thanks for. I think that's it, right? Anything else?
No, that's good.
I have been actually this past week. I've been really putting some time in Battlefront.
Really, get the last few kicks in before.
Well, I'm really
retire it.
I was really stuck on a couple of HUT contracts that I was like, man, this is dumb. Because I'm not that good. I mean, it's funny because I was playing a game and I got like 17 kills. I'm like, man, that's good for me. But the guy on my team had 88.
Okay, he must have been a hero. That's been like Chewbacca the whole time.
I don't know, but I guess maybe. But 80. How do you kill 88 people in one game? I'm like,
that's crazy.
And then tonight, actually, before dinner, I was playing and someone had 63 kills. I'm like,
some 7-year-old
kid. I know, right? And I struggle getting 10 on a consistent basis because there's some of these contracts you need like streaks, and I'm like, I can't get a streak going. Like I try to like just hang out somewhere and I'm like, no. Anyway, I love it though, but I'm actually getting further. I got through some of those HUT contracts now. My goal is I'm trying to unlock those the dioramas. Yeah. So I'm through. I think I've got 16 unlocked out of 31. So, but a lot of the ones I haven't done are the ones about the missions and stuff, not the multiplayer, but the missions and stuff, like getting all those stars. That's hard.
Yeah.
The master difficulty, like that is ridiculous. So I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'm just trying to buy my time until Battlefront 2 comes out. Anyway, all right. So like I said, go to our website, insidetheforce.com. Catch up on all the stuff that's happening on Star Wars, as well as with us. All of our shows are on there. If you need to subscribe, we're on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, and multiple podcast sites out there. InsideTheForce.com. All of our social media is Inside the Force. Follow us, like us, check us out on Instagram. And as we said, we're doing a commentary for every film as we lead up to episode 8. So go to our YouTube channel to subscribe and get those videos as we put them out. And more to come on there as we get growing. So thanks for checking us out. We will be back next week for Casey Cooley.
The dark side clouds everything. Impossible to see. The future is. There it is.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
That's not bad.
Not too bad.
I think Tom Kane would be proud.
Yeah, maybe. Anyways, Yoda, episode 2 quote. Yes. Episode 2 month.
It is. And we're finishing the month. So got to get that episode 3 one out there to you. With Anthony. Anthony was with us on that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah. We had a lot to talk about on that one. All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care. We will see you all later. He's Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave. May the Force be with you.
Thank you for listening to Inside the Force, a Star Wars podcast hosted by David Cottingham and Casey Cooney. For more shows, additional content, articles, and the latest Star Wars news, please visit InsideTheForce.com. Inside the Force. For the Force in all of us.